Hey, welcome back to my beginner car animation tutorial series. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to model two highway overpasses and also texture them. Then I'll teach you how to set up your world lighting for the scene, and finally, I'll teach you how to render out your final animation. Before watching this video, I highly recommend checking out the previous video where I show you how to animate this exact car model on a road path. Once you watch that video, come back to this final part. And as always, if you want access to this entire blend file, you can get access to it by becoming a member on my Patreon. It's the best way to support me, and you get access to a ton of cool perks on Patreon. So consider checking that out. It'll mean the world to me. Without further ado, let's get started with the tutorial. Okay, so to get started, let's hide our procedural road for now. And let's hide our camera by hitting H. Okay, so now I'm going to teach you how to model a highway overpass pretty easily. It's going to be similar to this, where you have a pillar and then the road up on top. Shift A, we'll do a cube. Let's go to top view, and we will do S and then Shift Z, and we'll scale it like this. To follow the exact measurements, we can just change them here. So for the X dimension, I'm going to make it 14 meters wide, and I'll make it 60 meters long. For the Z-axis, I'll make it 1 meter. And now we could hit number pad to zoom in on it. And then I'm going to move it up about 35 meters. So next, I'm going to add the pillar. So let's do Shift A, add in a cube. We'll zoom in on it, and we'll go to Edit, G, Z, and then 1. And then go back to Object Mode, and then we will make it... We'll make it 30 meters high. And we'll increase the X and Y dimensions to 4. Next, we are going to go back into edit mode. And then with face select mode, we'll select this face. And then we will hit E to extrude. Extrude like this. Go to top view. Let's go to wireframe. And then let's do S and then X. And then we'll scale it on the X axis like this. Let's do G and Z, make it a little taller, like that. And then hit E to extrude, and we'll extrude it a little bit more. Go back to object mode or solid view. So then let's go back to top view, go to wireframe, and then we will hit Control R to add in a loop cut. And we'll add in a loop cut like right here. And then another one, Control R. And we'll add in another loop cut like right there. Okay, and now let's go back to solid view, select our face select mode, and then we will select this face, and then shift select this face, and then we'll hit E to extrude up. And then go back to object mode. Next, let's select our road here, go to edit mode, and then select the top face, E to extrude up, and then S and X, scale it on the X axis a little bit. And then E to extrude again, and S, X, scale it a little like this. Next, go back to edit mode, and then let's hit Control R, add in some loop cuts, maybe like 10. And then we will hit Control B to bevel. Select each face like this. Shift, and E to extrude up. And then go back to edit mode, and we will add in one more loop cut like this. And then one more on this side, Control R. And then face select, shift, and then shift, and then E, extrude up. And boom, we have our highway done. Next, let's texture it. So to texture it, we could first shift click this, and then hit Control J to combine the materials. Now they're one material. Then we'll go into the shading tab, and we're gonna hit new, and then we're gonna select our principal BSDF. And if you have the Node Wrangler add-on enabled, make sure that's enabled. It's enabled right here. Select our principal BSDF, Control Shift T, and then we're going to apply a concrete texture. So I'll be using this concrete texture here. I'll leave a link in the description to use the same one. So just select all these textures and apply them. And they should apply like this. And now you can see that it's a bit stretched. So to fix that, we're going to go on this view right here. We're going to go into edit mode. We are going to select this part right here. And we'll hit U and then project from view. Now, go to this window right here. Go to the UV editor. And hit A to select everything, and we'll just scale it up till it looks somewhat decent. A little more. That's good enough. And we'll do the same on this side. So go to this view right here on -Y, go back to edit mode, select this side only, hit U, project from view. And we'll do the same thing, hit A on this window right here, and then scale it up. And then we'll go to this view right here. Again, select Nice. Okay, let's fix this road part here. So for the road here, we're gonna add in a new texture. So go to top view like this, go back to edit mode. Let's select all the faces on the road only. So let's just select this. Go back to top view. Let's go to the material properties here. And let's add in a new material slot. So click this plus icon here. Hit new, and then we'll hit assign. And then let's go to this principal BSDF. Again, Control Shift T, and we are going to use a road line texture. I'll leave a link in the description for the same one that I'm using. So just download it and then save it to a folder and apply it like I'm doing right here. So select these materials here and hit apply. We just got to do the same thing. We got to hit U, project from view, and then go to this window and we can just shape it properly. So let's hit S, X, S, Y. It's a bit too stretched, so let's do S and Y. Okay, cool. Now let's go back to our layout tab up here. And let's extend this highway. So let's go to the modifiers tab. Let's add in a array modifier. And it's going to go on the y-axis. So let's 0 this. Let's put 1 here. And now we can add as many as we want. I'll add in like 8. Or we can add it in 10. Yeah. So we'll have one straight highway overpass, and we're going to make one curvy one as well. So to make a curvy one, we're just going to hit Shift D, and then we'll duplicate it, hit Escape, and then we'll move it to the side here. And so we'll rename this to Curvy Highway. And we'll rename this to Straight Highway. And so for this one, we need to add in a curve. Let's do this. Let's hit Shift and S, cursor to selected, and then we'll do Shift A, curve, and we will do let's do a curve path, okay? So a curve path is down here, and if we go to edit mode, we can see it right over here. So let's just go back to object mode, hit RZ90, and then enter. And then let's go back to edit mode, and we got to extend it. So let's go to the bottom view like this, and let's just let's extend it. So we're still on the measuring tool here. So let's click this tool here, select box, and then let's select this point here, and then G, and then Y. Move that point there, and then let's select this point. Let's move it all the way to the end, all the way to the end. Like that. And we'll take this point right here and we'll move it, I don't know, like somewhere here. And we'll take this point and we'll move it somewhere here. Okay. And we can just delete this last point here. We don't need that, so just delete that. Now to make a curve, we'll just move this like over here. And we'll move this over here as well. So it's like kind of curving. And let's just tab out for a second and hit number pad. Oh, sorry. Let's like this, hit number pad. We're upside down for some reason. Okay, yeah, there we go. And now let's select our curvy highway here. And let's go to add modifiers and we'll add in a curve modifier. And we'll select the curve path that we just added. So boom. And now it's curving, but you can see there's some, sharp edges here. It's not as smooth. So to smoothen this out, let's hit tab to go into edit mode. And let's add in some loop cuts. Let's go to top view and let's hit Control R. And let's add in a bunch of loop cuts, like 30 loop cuts. And so what that will do is add in more geometry and then tab out and it should be more smooth. Look at that, it is. And so you can control the curve however you like now. So you could select the curve, go to edit mode, and we can just control the highway and shape it however we want. We can even shape it like this too, So it's entirely up to you how you want to shape it, but I'm gonna keep it like this for now. Let's just add in a empty to control this object here. So to add in an empty, we will do Shift A, and then we will do an empty, let's do an empty sphere, and we'll increase the size like this. Let's move it towards the middle. Make it way bigger. Okay, and then we're just going to select the curve, then shift click the highway, and then finally shift click the empty, and then Control P, and then parent to object. And now this empty will control the entire highway. And we'll rename the empty to Curve Highway Controller. Let's select everything here and move all of them to a new collection. So M, new collection, and we'll do Highway collection. And so let's just RZ90 to rotate this. Let's move it to the middle. And let's hide the highway collection for now. Let's bring back the procedural road. And so for the procedural road, I'm going to duplicate the procedural road. Yeah, let's duplicate both of them. So Shift D to duplicate, and then X, and then move it to the side here. Well, actually, we can Alt D this, Alt D, and duplicate it this way. Yeah. And so for this, I'm just going to change it up a bit. I'm going to make the railings for this one a little higher. So let's go to the modifiers and let's just increase the railing heights to like something super high. This is what it's looking like so far. Let's add in another one, Alt D, duplicate it. Next, we need to set up the world lighting because we want to see what it looks like in rendered view now, right? Let's go to the world tab here and let's do color and let's do environment texture. And we are going to add in a HDRI. Now, I'll leave a link in the description for the HDRI that I'm using. I'm going to be using the Shanghai Riverside HDRI. So bring that in and let's just see what it looks like. So let's just, let's go to our render settings, switch to cycles, switch this to experimental. And if you have a GPU, highly recommend to switch to that. Then let's just see what it looks like. We can adjust the HDRI if you want, but for now, I think this is good. All right, so now that we have our world lighting in place, next we are going to bring back our highway collection. And now we're going to scatter these highways all over our scene. So let's just start moving these highways all across our scene. I'm going to move this over here. I think one needs to be taller. So I feel like I'll make this one taller here. Yeah. And then we're probably going to need so let's just say tab on this and let's increase the height for this specific highway. Let's just let's select the bottom faces here. Let's do E, and let's do E again. And we could scale that like this, and maybe something like this. And so let's just, let's duplicate. I'm gonna Alt-D and duplicate this. So Alt-D, duplicate this. And we'll do RZ90. And we'll just move this somewhere here. We can bring this down. And let's not have it overlap. So like this, okay. And let's add in another curvy one. So let's shift click this, and we will do Shift D, duplicate, and we'll move this over here. Maybe turn it like this. I'm just freestyling here. I'm not really following a specific strategy or something. I'm just like placing them wherever I think they look nice. So I guess that's nice. I just gotta make sure they don't overlap here. So let's something like that. Okay, nice. Let's add in another one. I'll do Alt-D to duplicate this, Alt-D. And we'll just move this on the y-axis like this. Yeah. I'm gonna do another Alt-D. Move it right here. Let's copy this again. Copy the curve one. Alt-D this time. And we'll move it here. Oh, this one's a bit too close to the road, I just noticed. Yeah, okay, let's, here. I realize we need one more in the distance here. And we'll move this so it's like connecting like this. Yeah. Rendered view, let's see what it looks like. Okay, I like that. I like that. An issue we ran into is when we extended this, we unfortunately messed up the texturing here. So we gotta go into edit mode, and let's go to the original if we can. Yeah, right here. So number pad, and let's just select each of the faces here. Go to wireframe, let's select this part here as well. I think that's the extent. Okay, yeah. And then we'll do U and then Q projection. I guess that works, yeah. Let's select this part here. This one seems a bit too stretched. And go back to render view. Q project. Yeah. You can also adjust the HDRI here. So if you go to the shader editor, hit N, and then let's go to world view, and then click the HDRI. You can hit Control T to add in a texture coordinate, a mapping coordinate, and then you can just adjust the rotation here of the HDRI to move the buildings in the background a bit. Or you can even adjust the lighting. Maybe you want to see more buildings on this side. Yeah. And let's click on the camera. Click on the camera. Oh, the camera's hidden actually, sorry. The camera is hidden. Okay, bring back the camera here. And now let's select the camera, and let's go to output, and let's just make render region and crop to render region. So when we hit render view, we can only see what's in the box. We can see that this highway here ends. So let's maybe extend it by hitting Alt-D and just extending it like this. Nice. Okay. And now, you know what we can do? We could, now if you want, we can add in some more cars on the road here to give your scene more life, I guess. Pretending like it's passing cars. And I would honestly recommend adding low poly cars. So if you can find some low poly car models by either using Blender Kit, you could add, let's just search car, and not too low poly. Like this is like obviously fake, but let's go with, let's drag in this one here. And so when it passes it by, yeah, maybe this. Make sure there's no modifiers applied because we don't need any modifiers on this. So let's just delete any modifiers. Delete that, delete that. Oh, let's not delete the mirror though. So, okay, so yeah, we can just keep that. Oh. Delete any modifiers on the tires. And one final thing we can do for the scene is we probably need a driver in the car. So let's go on a website called Mixamo. Log in and we're going to, you can make a free account or just use your Google account. And we are going to search for a driver. Let's go to characters first. And then driver, we'll use this racer character. For the animation, we're going to click drive or type in drive. And so this animation works. And we can hit download with skin. Okay, download. Then we're going to go back to, we can collapse this. Click your car here. Click your car. Then hit Shift and an S, cursor to selected. And then we'll do File, Import FBX. And then we'll bring in our driver. So go to wherever you saved it, right here, driving, and then import. And then there he is. We'll just hit RZ 180 to rotate him. And then we will bring him forward, G and Y, or X. Move him. So he's like kind of on the wheel. Okay, now we don't need a bottom portion of his body, so let's select the character here. Just select the character only. Go hit tab to go into edit mode. Go to wireframe, and then we just need to delete bottom portion, like his legs here. X and then delete vertices. Okay. All right, now the only thing we got to do is go to wireframe, select the armature here, the bones, and then let's click on, honestly, click any part of the car. Let's say the top hood, and then Control P, and then parent it to the car. Now, if you hit play, it will move along with the car. Now, all you have to do is just render out your very first car animation. So to render it out, we're going to go to the render properties here, the output properties, change this to 24 FPS, and we'll use the PNG file format. Find a place, a location to save your image sequence. So now we got to find a place to save our image sequence. So let's go to file output, and let's go to, let's save it. Let's go to Blender projects. We'll make a new folder. We'll call it Ford Car Animation. And then double click, make a new folder, call it clips. And inside the clips, we'll call it shot 1. And then this is where you can save your first shot. Hit accept. And now change this to 24 FPS. And let's go to render properties, and we'll change the render max samples to 300. This is the max I do, depending on your machine, but 300 is good enough. And then I recommend turning on denoise, and then open image denoise. And if you have a GPU, you can use your GPU. And then we'll turn on motion blur. And for performance, we'll turn on persistent data in case we got to re-render it again. And for color management, make sure it's on AGX. And anything else we want to do? Let's hit render animation. Okay, so once it's done rendering, go up here, click this plus icon, and then go to video editing. Then we're going to bring in our image sequence that we just rendered out. So click on add, then image sequence, and then go to wherever you saved it. I saved mine right here in this folder, and we'll hit A, and then we'll add image strip. Now, if it comes in like backwards for some reason, you can go here to video and just reverse the frames. But mine imported improperly, so just hit play to watch your animation. And there you go. Your first ever car animation finally done and rendered out. That's pretty much it. Now, if you want to export this as a video file, an MP4 file, what you can do is set the output to FFmpeg video and the encoding to MP4. Then you could put the output quality to high quality, and that's pretty much it. And then you can just choose a new folder. So I'll go here, I'll just call this folder Ford Mustang video file. Make sure you uncheck a render region, and then you can hit render animation. And now it'll render your animation and convert it to a video. Now, if you go to the folder you just saved it, there it is as a video file. Now, what I usually like to do after this is I usually like to bring it into DaVinci Resolve as an image sequence instead of the video file. And I usually do some color grading and some other effects to brighten up the image to give it more of a realistic look. Now, I can save this video as a separate video that I can do for Patreon. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the Patreon. I have a ton of exclusive perks that are available for all of you, so be sure to check that out. Give yourself a pat on the back for getting to the final part and making your first ever car animation. More tutorials to come, so make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to see more tutorials like this. Comment down below and let me know what type of tutorials you want to see from me, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.